Linda, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Cable. Good to see you.
Likewise, likewise. So I think we're going to talk some bear hunting today as we've both returned from successful trips. Um, but first, so I had something happen that I knew would happen eventually, but it had never, well, I'd seen it happen to other hunters on trips, but my luggage had always shown up before.
I saw your post about
Yeah,
that.
until this time. But you invest so much time and resources and money into traveling to hunt that I always kept my hunting boots and at least one pair of hunting clothes in my carry-on bag, and yeah, I'm glad that I did because I would have been SOL on this hunt.
Yeah, that's one of the key points I always tell people. Think about that. There's no guarantees your luggage you can get there. So at least have some basics with you so you don't lose a day or two of your hunt.
Yeah, yeah. So toiletries and at least one set of hunting clothes. I was hunting mule deer in Old Mexico back in January, and these three dudes from Houston showed up. I'd been there for 2 days. They showed up. There was four of them actually, but three of them didn't have any luggage,
Oh,
and it was cold. So they were hunting in like pajamas and Crocs,
oh
and
my gosh.
yeah, I gave them. We're riding around on a high rack,
Yeah.
and it's like 35, 40 degrees. They were freezing. The worst part was though is that they shared a toothbrush. These three guys.
Oh,
They
oh,
they they put it in we were in Mexico, so they
sure.
had a cup of tequila, and they just put the toothbrush in the tequila, and the three dudes shared a toothbrush. I think I would have been
Okay.
brushing with like a little toothpaste in my finger
Yeah, yeah,
personally.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah. So I've seen it happen, but that was the first time it happened to me. So
It's happened to me over the years, I would say at least 3 or 4 times, and typically it's always been out of country,
mhm.
Canada or somewhere else internationally. And it's usually been where it's like a tent camp or something where you need like sleeping bags and all kinds of gear.
Oh yeah.
Um, so it's challenging, but you find out quickly who your friends are if you can borrow some gear from everybody.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no doubt about that. What was I gonna say? Something along those lines. Um, Crap, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Oh, well, so what was the worst situation you found yourself in? Oh, I know what it was. So my bag did just show up at the hunting lodge, though. So kudos
Okay,
to Air Canada for magically making it appear. And
right.
I was like, I don't know if this thing will ever show up. I don't know where it is. I can't track it. They won't tell me where it is. But then yeah, just somebody drove it a 2 hour round trip, and there it was, 2 days into the hunt.
Yeah, mine has always shown up. I've never had a situation where I went the whole trip and didn't receive my bags, but
Uh huh.
I have had 2 or 3 days without them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so how was your bear hunt?
Well, I would say this was probably one of the best that I've had maybe ever. And this
Oh,
particular
wow.
camp is in
And
northern
you have
Alberta.
done a lot of bear hunting, so
Yeah,
that's saying
yeah,
something.
yeah. This particular
Do
camp's
you
in
know how
northern,
many bears you've taken at this point?
um, 30-ish.
30-ish? Okay. I'm up to 4, so you've got me beat by quite a few. So 30-ish bears, that's a lot.
Yeah,
So this was in northern Alberta.
northern Alberta. I've been going to the same camp for, gosh, close to 20 years.
Mhm.
Missed a few years here and there thanks to COVID and some other things, but we always consistently take some really mature bears. By that, we have a group of 6 to 8 hunters, and we'll take 2 or 3 or, several in that 7 foot category.
Mhm.
And actually, the very first time I went up there, I took one that was an 8 foot square. So
Oh, wow.
big bears. But what I've noticed, last year we had an incredible year. This year topped it. We had a total of 9 hunters. And in that particular area, you get 2 tags each. So we
Mhm.
could have taken up to 18 bears. We took 16.
Mm.
And of those 16, 12 of them measured 7 foot or better.
Oh my
And we
gosh.
had another one that hit the 8 foot mark. Um, and just it's amazing to me to see consistently that many large mature bears. And over the years, as I said, we've always had big bears, but pretty incredible year. And they do 4 weeks of hunts,
Mhm.
and they had similar success on the other 3 weeks too.
Did the outfitter give you any kind of idea as to why they're
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons. I mean, um, and that area, unfortunately, because of COVID, other hunting operations have gone out of business. So I think
Hmm.
he's one of only two in the area hunting. And if you think about it, we did have he lost 3 years to
Mm.
COVID due to travel restrictions. And so you didn't have a lot of people hunting. The locals don't hunt bears very often, and they've had a lot of fires in surrounding areas.
Mm.
So I think that kind of created that perfect storm where we just had a lot of big bears in the area. But because I've had close to 20 years of history, I think it also shows the success of managing and taking, we really try to focus on taking big mature boars. And
Hmm.
I think that really shows how it impacts the population as well.
Oh, no doubt. And is this tree stands or
It
spot and
is, it
stuff? Okay.
is, it's tree stands. It's a baited hunt in this area. It's about the only way you could hunt them there,
Yeah.
just because it's so thick. And I have come to really enjoy that simply because of being able to observe the bears. Gives you time to really kind of try to age them, make sure you're taking a boar instead of a sow. I had one night where, in fact, it was my last night. I shot a really nice bear that measured right at 7 feet, but I'm not sure that I shot the biggest bear. I had four big bears in there kind of jockeying for position.
Huh.
And this one by far had the nastiest attitude. So that's why I decided to shoot him.
Uh-huh.
He acted like he was the biggest bear, whether he was or not.
That's incredible that you guys saw so many mature boars. I
Yeah.
did not have that same experience. My hunt was wonderful. It was on Vancouver Island, and a place that I'd never been. The scenery was beautiful. You know,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
up in the mountains and overlooking the ocean. And on clear days, you could see into Seattle from
Hmm.
some of the or to Washington from some of the vantage points. But the hunting was tough. It was unseasonably hot. It was 90 degrees. I left Texas and I was like, holy crap, it's the same here. And they're like, yeah, this is not normal for us.
Right.
And so the hunting was tough. We saw average of maybe 5 or 6 bears a day. Only saw
That's
one the
pretty good.
last day though. So, and it's all it was different than because I've done bear hunts with hounds. I've done them in Alberta, sitting in a tree stand,
Right.
but I had never done just glass from one mountain to the other and then try to get over there and make a play
Were
on
you
the
in a lot
bear.
of clear cuts, logging
Oh yeah.
areas?
Hmm.
Yeah, that I've been on Vancouver Island, I guess 3 or 4 times.
Hmm.
Like you said, incredibly beautiful place to hunt. But I don't think you typically see the number of bears that you see like we did on the baited hunt.
Yeah.
But they do have some good quality bears. You got one, right?
Yep, I used the Patriot 300 Win Mag, and
Nice.
yeah, I got an exit wound, and I mean, I think it was 180 grain federal power shock, and it destroyed it. It didn't. It
Nice.
ran
Yeah.
it ran 10 feet, and then there was the death moan, which that's another thing about bear hunting. I've heard an elk make a noise, a weird noise when he expired. I don't think I've heard other animals. I mean, to be graphic, some of them like make a gurgling, but that's not what the
Yes.
death moan is. It's a
No.
real distinct just
Uh,
noise that a bear makes.
Yes, and you don't always get that on a bear either, I will tell you, but when you do, it's the sound you don't soon forget. It's
Hmm.
very eerie.
My cameraman thought it was the coolest thing ever. He'd never experienced. He hasn't been on a lot of big game hunts,
Right.
and I was like, "Yeah, Steve, that's cool, but just cut it out of the video. It's a little
A
too
little too much.
visceral." Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it was a great hunt, and I think I'd definitely go back there and do it again. Another one of my buddies, though, um, a longtime outdoor writer, Connor Harrison, he was actually on my plane, and he was going up to Terrace, which is um, somewhere up north from where we were, and they were doing a cool hunt where they checked crab pots and shrimp and stuff in the mornings, and then bear hunted in the afternoons.
Yeah, and people don't realize bear hunting does tend to be more of a afternoon, evening hunt, and particularly when
Hmm.
you had the temperatures like you did, 90-degree weather pretty much keeps them inactive except at night. So
Yeah, yeah.
I did Vancouver Island a few years back, and we actually went out around the estuaries when the tides were low, and the bears actually came down and would feed there, and that was a pretty
Huh.
exciting hunt.
That's cool. So yeah, you got more into the coastal experience. We didn't
Yes.
do that on this one. What guns did you? What calibers did you take?
Yeah, it was kind of
on
interesting.
yours?
The majority of the group took the new 7 millimeter PRC and our Patriot Predator. A couple of us took the 450 Bushmaster, and then we had one person that opted to shoot our 940 Pro field gun with
Hmm.
slugs. So it was kind of nice to have that mix
And how did the shotgun perform?
flawlessly. In fact, really impressive. In fact, for that type of hunt, slug gun would probably be my number one choice. I've used a little bit of everything. So either a 20 or a 12 gauge slug gun is a great choice for that. But the last 2 years I've used that 450 Bushmaster, and I have to tell you, it is so decisive, the energy that it delivers, that I really think that's kind of my go-to bear gun now for
Hmm.
that up close action.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay, and then the seven
Well,
PRC.
it's up to 7 millimeter PRC. I mean, it's just an impressive performer. I've seen it now on multiple hunts, shot at the range, and I just think Hornady has a winner there with that particular cartridge.
What? So I'm thinking about my 7 mag, and I'm usually shooting, I think, like 162 grain bullet. When you talk about the PRC,
Yeah, it's a little bit heavier. I want to say it's a 170, but I'm not
okay,
exactly
I
sure
was
what.
just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Because that's one of the
Okay.
things you can really maximize with that cartridge.
Hmm. Okay. And so, did you end up taking two bears?
I did. I did. My first one measured 7.1, and then the other one, as I said, was just right at 7.
And did anybody take a color phase bear?
Yes, we had one.
Nice.
One nice kind of milk chocolate, beautiful
Hmm.
bear. Yeah. It was really interesting though. We had a couple of people on their first hunts and first bear hunts. And the guy that took the 8 footer, that was his first bear
Oh
ever.
wow.
So he's ruined now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then another guy who was on his first hunt, um, it was a 6.5 foot chocolate. And then he also shot a 7.1 just black bear. But
Wow.
I told both of them, I said, you go anywhere else to hunt, don't expect these types of results. I mean, it's
Right.
just very unusual.
It's interesting. My guide on Vancouver Island, because I asked him, I said, do you guys get any color phase bears here? And he goes, no, we don't get any. Um, his school of thought, or what he had been taught over the years, was the wetter the climate, the um, least likely you are to see a color phase. It's more of a dry
Hmm,
climate situation.
interesting.
Yeah, I
I'd
don't
never
know.
heard that.
But he said they
I,
never have them there.
but
Some of the
it
bears have
is.
a white blaze on their chest.
Yes, I love it when you see that. Beautiful. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think I've just found, and again, genetics, I don't know what the reasoning is, but it's very much regional. You find it in just certain areas tend to have a higher percentage of color phase, but
Hmm.
not found across the country. So,
I think a lot of those younger color phase bears get shot because people
well,
just
of
want
course
to
they
see
do.
the face. Yeah.
It's such a unique trophy that
Uh,
most people, yeah, don't
can't help
don't say
themselves.
I'm going to pass. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Um, okay, so that was your big hunt for the spring. Um, what is coming up next for you?
Well, summer, a little time off here, but as we roll into August, I'm heading out to California for Central Coast black-tailed
Woo,
deer.
my favorite state. As you can tell by my unwoke
Yeah,
T-shirt that I'm
yes.
wearing.
I will say this little pocket of California, we're in the Paso Robles area, um, is a part that you would like. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very rural agricultural. We hunt with a family-run operation, and so I'm really excited. I've been out there several times, really excited to be going back, and
Hmm.
they're pretty tasty. The deer feed a lot on the grapevines out
Mm.
there,
Okay.
so it's quite an interesting hunt. And then heading down to West Texas, going to do a dove and scimitar oryx hunt,
Nice.
and Kansas whitetail, and some couple of duck hunts, and a couple of tactical events. So pretty busy fall shaping up.
Yeah. So where do you fly into for the California hunt?
I actually go into San Jose, and
Okay.
then it's a couple hours south of there.
Okay. Yeah. California is a beautiful state. There's no denying that.
No,
Absolutely stunning.
it's just unfortunate.
I mean, yeah.
I truly feel sorry for like the family that we hunt with.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they hate the politics of California, but they have a family-owned operation that they've had since the mid 40s,
Hmm.
and it's awfully hard to walk away from that.
Oh,
So,
there's wonderful people,
yeah,
especially Northern California.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
People like us, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Well, I had I've had a busy last couple weeks. So I went to Africa, and then
Yes, you did.
came home for 3 days, and then hit the road for Canada. And thankfully, my wife was still here when I got back.
That's good. That's good.
No,
The
she's used to
locks
the
hadn't been
travel.
changed on the door.
She's used to it, but not. I think that was pushing her limits just a little bit.
Yeah,
From being gone 12 days, and then usually
right.
it's like September comes in, I'm gone for 10 days for an elk hunt. But she,
Sure.
stacking them one after the other, she was like, oh, this is, it's nice to not be a single parent anymore. So
Here are the kids. They're yours
yeah,
now, right?
exactly. Bye, I'm going to the spa. Yeah, yeah.
What about you for the fall? What do you have lined up?
um well, I didn't draw any elk tags, so struck
Uh-oh.
out. So
Okay.
I've got my irons in the fire for a couple landowner tags in New Mexico,
Okay.
which New Mexico is unique in the fact that in certain units you can buy a landowner tag and then hunt the public land, which
Right.
I don't really know if they should be doing that, but they do, and I'm going to take advantage of it. So yeah, that's plan number one. That'll be September. I've got an axis deer hunt that'll happen in late July or early
Nice.
August.
It's one of my favorites, talking about great table fare.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got one right
I
here
know the
behind
hide
me.
on the back of your chair.
Yeah, yeah. And then Henry and I will spend a ton of time at the deer lease, and of course we'll take the kids out of school for September 1st for opening day of dove season, as
And you've
is
got a
our
new rifle
tradition.
coming for the
I
girls.
know. Yeah, excited about that. And my 6.5 PRC showed up while I was in Canada. So just got to go swing by Tim's to grab that. So excited. Lots of stuff coming up. I think what else we're doing. Oh, we're gonna go with Kent Cartridge to shoot. I think they're called long-tailed ducks now. They used to be called old
Yes, old
squaws.
squad. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
That's one
great.
of my
Where are you
bucket
headed for
list.
that?
The East Coast somewhere.
Okay.
That they're searching for the right outfitter.
Gee, I didn't know that was on your bucket list because I
Yeah.
go to Maine every year and do a duck hunt.
Well, now you know.
Now,
But
now I know.
there's
Okay.
probably other species on there that in
Yes,
Maine that I would like to have the opportunity to take, though.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what's coming up for me. I'm sure there'll be a couple other things that get shoved in the mix, but lots of duck hunting too. Got a big lake there on the deer lease. So yeah, I think the main thing for this fall will be, though, to let the girls try to get a deer, a doe, and then let Henry try to shoot his first bird out of the air. So
That'd be
whether that's
great.
a dove or a duck, I'll let him shoot off the water too. I'm not too I'm not too proud to say that.
Yeah.
If he needs a water swat one to get on the
No, that's all
scoreboard,
right. That's right.
yeah.
That's okay.
But he shot his first turkey with
I know.
what is the model? It's the is it the SA 410?
Yes, the SA 410 is what he
Yeah,
was using.
he shot that, and then he has the pump action as well, which he will use for attempting to shoot a dove or a duck. But for that, it was super easy to put him on a tripod, and
Perfect.
yeah, he shot a turkey. Little Stella missed hers, but
That's all
she
right.
has the
That's
same
part of,
problem Henry does with she's left-handed, and she was like, saw her brother and sister shooting right-handed. She was like, no, I want to shoot right-handed. I'm like,
oh,
okay. Well, Lyndall, our mutual friend, our
yes,
outfitter,
yes.
I told her, like, she shot like a foot over the turkey at 15 yards. I was telling him this, and he goes, let's watch her shoot. And because I had always taken her when I took her to practice, I'm standing behind her, and so he stands kind of to the side, and he's like, yeah, she's shooting right-handed, and she's trying to look with her left eye.
See, that I had that challenge. I am right-handed, left eye dominant,
Yeah.
And where it shows up most that it really impacts me is either shooting clays,
Mhm.
but turkey hunting. And I think it's because what happens is I tend to want to roll my head over.
Mm.
So to solve that problem though, if I put like a microdot sight or small optic on it, I
Mm.
can, I don't have that issue. But if you just give me bead sights, I'm
Yeah.
really challenged sometimes because it's just instinct for that left eye to want to take over.
Yeah. Well, so she's now shooting left-handed. We're
Yeah.
just we're
Oh, or there's the other choice. That's
we're not
right.
doing that anymore. Well, she's left-handed anyway, but
Yeah.
I guess more ambidextrous, but her dominant hand is her left hand, and certainly her left eye as well. So we'll sort that out. And then Frankie didn't go with us down there, but I did take her turkey hunting up here by herself, and we had a nice father-daughter day where we saw the turkeys, but they hung up like 60 yards outside of the decoys and just mocked us for an hour.
Yeah.
I was like, "Do you
But
want me to?" Because I could have shot it with a 12 gauge
right.
with my tactical turkey, no problem. And I asked her, I was like, "Do you want me to just shoot it?" She goes, "No, I want to shoot it." I said, "Okay." Well, they're gonna have to get a little bit closer. They never did, but
But you're
yeah.
doing what's really important. You're spending time with them in the field, whether you're successful or not.
Oh, I kind of didn't really want them to be successful on some
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
If they did, great, but I think it's better if you have to work for it a little bit.
That's right.
Unlike the guy that shot the 8-foot bear on his first bear hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, what is there anything new that we need to hit on from Mossberg?
I'm kind of waiting for them to give me an update on what's coming new down the pipeline. I'm sure we'll
Mhm.
see, there's some new cartridges out there. I imagine we'll probably chamber for those, but I don't have any news for you today on what's new. So we might have to touch base
Mm.
as we get a little bit closer
Well,
to the fall.
what are those cartridges that have caught your eye that you're talking about there? One of my buddies that
Oh,
went to Africa with me loves it. He has a 6.5 Western, absolutely loves that.
I've heard about that. There's
Yeah.
some more straight wall cartridges that have been introduced. Those seem to be extremely popular right now. So,
Mm.
I think we'll just have to see what kind of plays out and really has legs to last.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, I certainly appreciate it, Linda. Always great catching up with you. Congrats on a successful bear hunt.
And to you as
And
well.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks again, and we will do it again very soon.
Thanks, Cable.